initiative of Bicol University College of Science Extension Office headed by the Extension Coordinator, Dr. Romel Ivan Pahe, in partnership with Bicol University Extension Management Division and with the full support of the College of Science headed by the indefatigable Dean, Professor Jocelyn E. Serrano, we provide you this free webinar focusing on the features of Moodle, a platform that provides educators, administrators, and our learners with an integrated and comprehensive system in creating a personalized learning environment. So, friends, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the BUCS Extension Office Reach to Teach Series 1. Before we start our program and this free webinar, may I request everyone to have a moment of silence for the invocation to be provided to us by the BUPMD office.
Almighty, ever-living God, the most merciful and compassionate, we thank you for creation and the life you have given us. Together, we people of diverse religions, spiritual expressions and indigenous traditions, who invoke you by different names, humbly pray for your providence and protection in the midst of the COVID crisis. Strengthen and guide government leaders and private agencies, especially our administrators, faculty and staff, for the wisdom to do what is right and just. Enlighten the minds of students, that despite the educational limitations in this new normal, they may study diligently and effectively. Bless our families, remove our fears, and help us to trust in your love, so that by our example and generosity, we can inspire and help others. Grant all of us, especially the frontliners, good health and accept those who have died in your kingdom. Amen.
Mayang magiliw, perlas ng silangan, anak ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiging, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisili. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mabaga, may nilagang tulad, awit sa paglayang minamahal. Pag-islap ng matawat mo'y tagumpay na naninilig. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang mali magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng buwan, bakit pagsinta mo'y langit sa piling mo? Aming ligaya na pamay mga pilang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you very much. Again, I would like to welcome everyone to this webinar. Thank you so much for attending, and I hope you learned something after this session. Maraming salamat po. To provide us the overview of this webinar, please welcome Professor Rowena Zoilo. Ma'am.
To the energetic Dean of the BU College of Science, Professor Joy Serrano, the very active Extension Coordinator, Dr. Evan J. Pahe, the strong force of the BUCS, faculty and administrative staff, my partners in the Extension Management Division, both the technical and administrative staff, our viewers in the FB Live and Zoom. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I would like to congratulate the BUCS for coming up with a series of webinar dubbed as BUCS Reach to Teach, online teaching at home in the wake of the COVID pandemic. Since June 2020, we have been using the social media platform in delivering extension services to various clientele groups. This is one of our strategies in providing non-formal education to our beneficiaries. The BUCS, aligned with its different programs, shares its competencies and field of specialization in this online seminar. Topics on the perfect blend, shifting the paradigm, creating and conducting engaging webinars, cool things using learning management system, periodicity of the elements, DNA marker technologies, basics, applications, and techniques, teaching learning strategies for Jack 14 math, math in the modern world, numeric footprints of COVID-19, and research extension project development, a statistical perspective, are just some of the topics that they have been conducting and sharing with all our students, teaching, non-teaching staff, and other interested professionals. They actually started this webinar last year, but because of the series of typhoons which visited our country, causing power interruptions and poor internet connectivity, that we suspended it. And now we are resuming this activity. So, by registering in the series of webinars that the BUCS will be implementing, we will be learning a lot and helping not only our students but also our parents at home. So again, congratulations to the BUCS team. Again, to our viewers and partners, thank you for being one with us in the implementation of our extension programs and projects through the social media amidst this pandemic. Thank you very much and good luck to all of you.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Weng, for your 100% support to the College of Science. At this point, to give us the focus of our discussion, please welcome the Dean of the College of Science, Professor Jocelyn E. Serrano. Ma'am Joy.
Thank you, Melj. Good morning. The BU College of Science would like to reach all students through their respective homes through our webinar series dubbed as Reach to Teach. This morning, the focus of the discussion is towards creating an effective learning environment. This is indeed a must in the new normal. So today, we will be listening to two well-known, able speakers who just recently obtained their Doctor in Information Technology degree at the Technological Institute of the Philippines. So they will be focusing their topic on cool things using learning management system. This will focus on the features of the Moodle as a learning platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Joy. And thank you for being with us today, despite your busy schedule. Maraming salamat po. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce to us our speakers, please welcome no other than the Extension Coordinator of the College of Science, Dr. Romel Evan Pahe. Sir?
Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Okay, our discussion for today will be divided into two. The two discussants will take part on the discussions. The first discussant will be Dr. Ares Ordonez. Dr. Ares Ordonez is the former Dean of the Emilianum Institute of Technology, and presently he is an extension coordinator of the college. And followed by Dr. Aris Ordonez is Dr. Michael Brugada, who is also a doctor in information technology and the former dean of the IT school in the Lewis College in Sorsogon City. These two are a very competent faculty of the College of Science, Computer Science, and IT Department. Without further ado, please let's welcome Dr. Aris Ordonez and Dr. Mike Brogada.
Thank you, Dr. Evan, for that introduction. Okay, good morning. Well, as introduced by Dr. Pahe, I am Aris Ordonez, a faculty member of the CSIT Department of the Bicol University College of Science. Before I start with my discussion, I would like to take advantage of this opportunity first to express my gratitude to the organizers of this event for giving me the opportunity to share some of the things that I do in handling my classes using online platforms at these trying times. Specifically to the Dean of the College of Science, Dean Joy Serrano, the Extension Coordinator, Dr. Ivan Pahe, and then the members of the BUAMD, the Bicol University Extension and Management Division. Well, although I only have very limited allotted time to discuss, I will try to my best to make my discussion substantial and then significant. Well, to start with, the availability of technology during this pandemic has helped us a lot in doing our jobs outside our comfort zone. The use of technology has some advantage to the teachers and then the students, but there are disadvantages as well. In my case, I utilized several platforms in conducting my classes. I use Zoom for my synchronous classes and combination of several methods for my asynchronous class. In the middle of this is a learning management system or LMS that monitors activities, collate information, facilitate communication, and generate reports that are required by the course. There are actually lots of LMS that we can utilize for the management of our online classes. In my part, I use Moodle as my LMS due to its simplicity, deployability, accessibility, and most importantly, it is free. Okay, to formally start my discussion, I'd like to show you first the platform that we are using in the department. This is actually a Moodle system deployed by one of the discussant, Dr. Michael Angelo Brogada. He deployed the Moodle on the cloud, made it available to the students and the teachers, also covering some of the cost required by the deployment. He personally covered some of the cost, specifically the hosting, and then some of the other charges required to make this one available on the cloud. Okay, the department is actually utilizing this one, making things simple for us, specifically reaching out to the students, and then sharing our resources and conducting classes. I'll be sharing you first the platform that we are using to give you an idea what I'm actually talking about. I hope you can see my presentation. This is actually the Moodle that we are using in the department. As mentioned, this was deployed, installed by Dr. Brogada for us to utilize. What's um, so good with this kind of application is that you don't have really to create an account if you are a member of if you are a student or a faculty member of the Bicol University and you have an existing Bicol University account, you simply log in using that account without having to register, without having to undergo the tedious part of registering your information for you to be able to use the application. Simply click on login and then use the BU Gmail account for you to be able to use the system. In my case, I'm using my account, BU account, to allow me to utilize the system. And then, as you can see, uh, you're going to gain access over the Moodle that we are using in the department. So this semester, I'm handling information assurance, cryptography, and then capstone project um, for the BSIT and then BSES students. Okay. Now, with this serve as our portal in reaching out to the students, giving them what they need, and then conducting examinations, most probably, and then facilitate submission of materials like projects, assignments, using online method without having to um, meet them personally or taking all these materials from them personally. Let me, before I formally start my discussion, let me give you an idea first how things works in this application. Let's try opening first our um, subject last semester. As you can see, this is the content of my Moodle. You have there some announcements and then the required course guide na binibigay sa estudyante so that they'll be having an idea how things are going to work throughout the semester. By merely clicking on that, you will be given the content of that course guide so that you can get a hold of how I intend to deliver my classes. All the information that they need will be presented to them by the mere click of the mouse. And then I also posted some references and course materials. Like this one, for example, I can actually post there an online reference that's actually needed by the class, tutorial, practice problems, an ebook, and then some reminders, and then the syllabus that I'll be using for this course. And then the content of that will be posted here. As you can see, those are the topics: review of programming fundamentals, abstract data types, and these are the subtopics, basic data structures, so on and so forth. And then for every topic uh, posted are the activities associated with that one. Like this one, for example, um, I shared a lecture video, which is actually linked on a YouTube video. But by merely clicking on this one, you will be directed to that site so that you can watch a previously recorded video. But the only problem with this one is that every time I post a lecture video, there's no chance for the student to ask questions right after the presentation. It is a one-way method. They will just be watching the video that I posted, and if there's some clarification for them, some questions for them to raise, there's no chance for them to do that during the time that they'll be watching the video. That's why every time that I posted a video, make it a point that I also post a discussion board like this one, for example. A discussion board is a forum wherein, upon watching the video, they can post their questions, and then right away I can answer, or maybe on a later part of the day or day after they posted the question, I can answer their queries using the asynchronous method of delivering instruction. So, mean to say, this will going to provide them a chance to post questions, ask some queries, and also give a chance for me to answer them directly. Or I'm also allowing other students, their classmates, to answer these questions if they have something to say. Mean to say, it actually simulates the way we deliver instruction inside the classroom. So even without the usual method of doing things face to face, we still have this opportunity to discuss things in a manner which is somewhat close to the typical way of delivering classes, just like what I've said, using the face to face manner. So I post video, I post a discussion board, and allow them to raise questions and answer them directly. And their classmates as well could actually answer these questions in a manner na para siyang forum, so that they can go back to this forum even after a few days, or even before an examination, a scheduled examination. somewhat like para makapag-review sila prior to an evaluation na gagawin. So the discussion, hindi katulad sa face-to-face, after the discussion, then there's no recording of everything. In this case, after the discussion, they can still get back to this topic to review things that have been discussed in the process. Okay? So submission of activities were also done using this method. So as you can see, I posted a problem. And then there's that link for them to submit the files, digital files, in answer to the problem posted. Okay? And there are some instructions given, like for example, the rubrics that I'll be using for the for grading the submitted projects that I asked them to submit. Okay? And then the conduct of examination is also done through Moodle. So actually, etong Moodle is not something new to us. Even before the pandemic, the department has been using this one to take advantage of its capabilities and then features. Most specifically, the quiz, the conduct of quiz and then examination. What's good with Moodle is that after, on the part of the student, they can, after taking the examination, they can really know the scores. So upon submission of the exam, after taking the exam, they really know if they passed or failed, or actually know the actual scores they got from the recently conducted examination. This is one thing that we take advantage. That's why we're using Moodle even before this pandemic. And we fully use this one with the introduction of the online classes, the work from home features that we are actually using as of the moment. So we deployed a fully operational Moodle on the cloud so that things will be accessible on the part of the students and on the part of the teacher, making things easy for us and also somewhat like easy for them. Okay. Now, I am actually just giving you an idea how things works in Moodle, but the actual focus of my discussion is on the grade book, which is part of this Moodle system. Okay. When we say grade book, this is the method of monitoring the submissions, giving grades to the submissions, conduct of examinations of the students, and then monitoring the results of the examinations, and then summarizing everything in a way somewhat like comprehensible to us and could be converted into a form which can be printed and submitted to the college as part of the requirements. So with that, let's try discussing the real focus of my discussion. So just like what I've said, we are utilizing Moodle. As explained, this is an online learning platform or a course management platform. We normally call this one LMS. But LMS basically is just a generic term for all forms of online platform used for delivering instructions or conducting training. And Moodle is simply one of them. So we have Google Classroom, this is also an LMS. We have Blackboard, which is also an LMS, and a lot of learning management system with the sole intention of giving instruction to the students or delivering online classes to the students. Okay? Now with Moodle, teachers could introduce topics to and facilitate discussion with the students. We could also share ebooks, learning modules, lecture slides, video materials, podcast if you're familiar with this one, and web links with students. This could also facilitate submission of digital assignments, projects, and other class requirements, conduct quizzes, exams, and other forms of evaluation method using online platform. So I already had a lot of a couple of discussions about Moodle on the past. I discussed creating course Moodle in some of the units of the university. which includes adding teachers, enrolling students, managing contents, adding activities and resources, establishing communication between teachers and students. These are the things that I discussed on my previous webinars. But for this specific webinar, I'll be focusing on the integration of grading methods and the gradebook system of Moodle um, for this discussion. Okay? So just like what I explained, gradebook system is that feature of Moodle which allows teachers and students to have an instant access to the grades in real time. Meaning to say, this is not comparable to the typical method of giving reports to the students during our face-to-face classes wherein they can only get a hold of the result of their grade of their subject, specifically the grades at the end of the semester. Sasabihin mo lang sa kanila that this is your grade, and then there's no way for them to monitor how things actually arrive at that specific grade. Unless otherwise, you will be asking the teacher to give you full disclosure on how things are actually computed. Okay, but not in the case of Moodle. As we go along, utilizing Moodle, from time to time, students could actually monitor the grades that they accumulate on the conduct of the course. So, ibig sabihin, right after submitting their project and upon grading by the teacher, they would know the result of that submission, and then they could actually take a peek on the current status of their enrollment in a specific subject by monitoring all the submissions they made, the result of the exams that they took, and everything. They could take a peek of the result of this one even before the actual um, end of the program that they are actually taking. Okay? So for us to really appreciate how things works, I'm going to give you a simulation. Normally, this topic would benefit those teachers who are utilizing Moodle. Yung iba kasi, they are using Moodle just to take advantage of its capability to deliver instruction, share resources, and conduct examination. But if you really would like to take full control and utilize fully Moodle, you need to learn how to use its grade book. Okay? Now, say for example, actually in Bicol University, we have this academic freedom wherein we can decide how to grade the students, how to rate them, as long as you declare them in your syllabus before the start of the semester. Now, say for example, this is my grading system. For me to be able to compute for the semester grade, I'll be taking 60% of that from the midterm and 40% of that from the final period. Or some other ways, some teachers actually, they just make it fair, 50-50, 50 for midterm, 50 for final. In some other cases, yung ibang teachers naman, 40 for midterm, 60 for finals. That depends on you. But just for the sake of this simulation, ito yung susundan natin. Suppose this is your system of grading. 60% for the midterm, 40% for the final grade. And for every period, you have these specific categories that you need to consider. Like project for midterm, assignments for midterm, quizzes for midterm, and then examination, major exam for midterm. With an allocation of 30% for project, 20% for assignments, 20% for quizzes, and then 30% for midterm exam. In the same manner, during the tentative finals, you will be asking the students again, this will still be the same consideration. Project, 30%, assignments, 20%, quizzes, 20%, and then final exam. Now, how are you going to incorporate this one in Moodle? So, I'll be closing this presentation and balik tayo dun sa Moodle to give you a simulation of how things works if we will be using this kind of grading system. Okay, I created here a sample Moodle subject for our simulation. Okay, suppose this is our subject. The idea is, before you actually share this one with the students, try to define first everything that you need to do before the start of the semester, specifically your grading system. Okay? Now, to do that, just go to this function, grades, click on that, and then choose setup. Okay? So, as mentioned kanina, we have, actually may na-post na ako ng mga sample assignments, project quiz. You just ignore that one. I-rearrange na lang natin later. So, first step is to create categories. First, yung general category natin would be the midterm and then the tentative final. Okay? So, just click on add category. And then, create an appropriate name. So, let's say midterm grade. For the aggregation, just leave that one. When you say aggregation, that's your method of coming up with a grade for this midterm grade. We just modify that one later on. Leave that as it is. And then maximum grade would be 100 initially. We could also modify that one later on. At this point in time, just click on Save Changes. Okay? So you could see that we already have here a category called midterm grade. Okay? We add another category. We call this one tentative final. Same manner, just click on Save Changes. Now, you can see that there are actually weights allocated for these two. So, when you click on this tick box, that means to say that you are considering this one as part of the final evaluation. Okay, and you need to put some weight on this. So, in our case, sabi natin kanina 60%, so we say 60. And for tentative finals, we say 40. Okay? So we have now two major categories to compete for the final grade. Okay? Now, let's try putting some categories, subcategories under midterm and then tentative finals. So we do the same process. We say add category. Save muna natin. Okay? Add category. Shall we say midterm project? We say midterm project. And then with this, since midterm project is under midterm grade, so we need to define its parent category. So yung parent category niya, ilagay natin doon sa midterm grade. In that case, this will be part of the aggregation of grade for midterm. After saving, midterm project will form part of the midterm grade. As you can see, midterm project is actually under midterm grade. Okay? Add another category. We say midterm assignments, and its parent category would be midterm grade. Okay? As you can see, midterm project and then midterm assignments are actually under midterm grade. And then we add another category. We say midterm quizzes. Its parent category would be still midterm grade. Save. And then another category. We have midterm exam. Its parent category would be still midterm grade. Okay. For the midterm period, we actually completed its full definition. Okay, midterm grade, which is 60% of the total grade, covers midterm project, midterm assignments, midterm quizzes, and then midterm exam. Okay, let's try improving yung grading system natin for tentative finals. So we add another category. Let's say final project. And then that would be under, this time, tentative final grade. Okay? And then we add another category for the final assignments. Pairing category would be tentative final grade. And then another category, say final quizzes. Pairing category would be still tentative final grade. And then last category would be final exam. Parent category would be tentative final. Now, after this, we have now a complete grading system that covers what's stated in our, shall we say, syllabus. As you can see, midterm grade covers, midterm grade actually is actually 60% of the total grade of the semester. But midterm grade is just an aggregation of the midterm project, midterm assignments, midterm quizzes, and then midterm exam. But we still need to define the weight of every category to form the midterm grade. Like for example, in the case of midterm project, that's actually 30%. So we say, you tick on that one, you say 30 to make that one part of the aggregation. And then for the midterm assignments, that's 20%, so you say 20. Midterm quizzes, that's 20%, so you say 20. And for midterm exam, you say 30. By the way, this is only an example. This is not, you can actually define your own grading method, grading system, as long as you can justify that one and it's indicated in your syllabus. This grading system is only for demonstration purposes, okay? So we have a total of 100% for the midterm grade. 30% for midterm project, 20% for assignments, quizzes, 20%, and then midterm exam, 30%. This aggregation will form part of the midterm grade, wherein only 60% of that one will be part of the semestral grade. In the same manner, doon sa final na grade natin, yung final project natin would be 30% also. Assignments would be 20%. Quizzes would be 20%. And then final exam would be 30%. Don't forget to tick to make this one, to make that specific category part of the computation. Okay? And then save changes. Now with this definition, all the activities that you will be creating, you only have to define up to in what category you're going to have that one computed. Like for example, you conducted a quiz, then that specific quiz, you need to define that specific quiz kung saan mo siya lalagay, sa midterm quiz ba or sa final quiz. Now, as you can see, meron akong ginawa dito na sample. Assignment, sample project, sample quiz. Na paano pag naging ganon? Hindi mo pa na-define yung grading system mo and then you actually started conducting your classes and nagpa-exam ka na, nagpa-submit ka na ng project, and then nagpa-submit ka na ng assignments. And nagkaroon na ng submission yung mga estudyante. You only have to do is simply click on that specific assignment or project or quiz to move that one under appropriate location. and then try to, ano nga yung clinic natin kanina? Wait. Assignment, okay. Saan natin ilalagay yung assignment? Halimbawa, we define this one as midterm assignment. So, ilagay natin sa midterm assignment. Click on this. And that will be moved to that specific location. Now, as you can see, midterm assignment 1 is already, assignment 1 is already under midterm assignments. Okay? We move also this project to midterm project. Okay? Click. And then quiz. I-move natin sa midterm quiz. Okay. At this point, click natin so that they can have those things included in the computation. And save changes. Now, as you can see, yung nakalagay dito, 300, which is not supposed to be. Kasi hindi pa natin na-define yung aggregation na ginagamit natin. So, ang nangyari, inad niya lang lahat. We have 3 subcategories na merong content. We have project, assignments, and then quiz with a maximum grade of 100. As you can see, yung aggregation niya dito, nakalagay is basically 300. Asan na? Okay, ang gagawin natin is try to edit this one. Settings. Looking for the aggregation. Mamaya na lang, paggawa natin ng formula. Okay. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that after creating the grade book, you have now full control of your class. As you can see, this is your yung front ng Moodle natin, and every time na maglalagay ka ng assignment, ng activity, like for example, I'm going to give you simulation for this. Like for example, let's turn editing on. Yung kanina, meron na tayong predefined na assignments, project, and then quiz. Halimbawa, for topic 2, nagdagdag tayo ng isang assignment. So let's say, assignment 2. With some descriptions. Natin ilagay pa fully. And then, you allow submissions kung kailan siya pwede mag-submit and hanggang kailan siya pwede mag-submit. You can indicate deadlines. Okay? Yung submission could possibly be file submissions. And then yung site, upload limit, kung gaano kalaki lang yung file na pwedeng ilagay. Pero yung pinaka-crucial is that kung saan grade mo siya ilalagay. Okay? Nakalagay dyan is ang categorized. So you need to define saan mo siya ilalagay. So if it is an assignment, midterm assignment, then ilagay mo sa midterm assignment. You need to say, upon submission and upon grading ng faculty member assigned to this course, that specific grade will directly be part of the computation of the midterm assignments. If there are many, like for example, 3 or 4 or 5 assignments, they will be aggregated using a format that you define. Could possibly be a normal aggregation using averaging or mean, or possibly be weighted mean. Pwede kang mag-define ng mga weight. Like for example, for the first assignment, that's only 30%. Second assignment, that's only 20%. The third assignment, that's 50%. You can actually define weights kung gusto mo. Pero pwede rin normal aggregation using averaging. Okay? After that one, semi-return, then that will be part of the aggregation. Okay? Yung maganda pa dito is that yung grades, you might be asking, yung grade computation would be part of Moodle. Teachers could actually monitor how things, yung current status ng mga estudyante, and students as well, on their part, they could monitor kung ano na yung status nila during the course of the subject that they are taking. Okay? So at one point, pwede lang tingnan kung if they are doing fine, if they are actually failing. Pero pwede nilang i-monitor yon in real time. Okay. Now, you might be asking, if you are actually teachers, what about reporting? Kasi di ba, in Bicol University, we have this template that we follow to submit grades. So, paano, from Moodle, if you would like to incorporate this one in your existing gradebook created in Excel? So, the only thing you would do is that you only need to click export for this one. Okay? When you click export, all the data dito na ginagamit natin would be exported in the form of Excel file. So, di ba, pag Excel file na siya, things will be quite easy for us. You can copy-paste that one to our existing gradebook we created in Excel, or pwede mong i-copy-paste dun sa ORS or dun sa template ng ORS na pwede nating upload dun sa registration system, sa online registration system ng Bicol University for monitoring the grade of the students. So things will be quite easy on our part or on the part of the students kung paano gawin yung mga bagay-bagay. So mean to say, with merely clicking on export, like this one, the data, all the data of the students computed already, aggregated and then computed using the method that you created, that you defined, will be downloaded in the form of an Excel file. Okay? In this case, wala naman tayong data, hindi natin pwedeng export. Okay? Kasi ginawa ko lang itong subject na to just for the sake of demonstration. Okay. What's good thing is that by exporting this data in the form of Excel file, you can easily incorporate that one to our existing system na ginagamit in the university. Okay? You might be asking as well, paano yung mga ginagawa nating conversion from, like for example, the typical grading system using percentage type, 80%, 80%, 75%, 90%, 100%, to the BU system, 1.0, 1.1, 1.2. Then you could actually use scales or letters for that one. Pwede nating simulate yung ginagawa ng ibang bansa in trying to define their grading system like this one. You only have to edit this one. So pwede mong gamitin letter or somewhat like yung grading system ng university, which is equivalent to 1.0, yung pinakamataas, 3.0 yung passing. You just change this one, you just edit the grade letters to something that suits your need, and then you define the range of these grades here so that you can eventually convert all your computation to this format. Okay? You could also create scales. Like for example, pwede ka mag-define ng somewhat like hindi siya value. Pwede mong sabihin, if you're into a specific course we're in, the evaluation is on the form of somewhat like verbal interpretation, like excellent, very satisfactory. If you're into that kind of evaluation, you could also define your own scales in Moodle. Kaya lang, hindi mo siya pwedeng i-compute. Every evaluation would be verbal interpretation based on the evaluation of the teacher. Okay? So these are the things that I actually do in Moodle. There's a lot of things na pwede pang explore. Kaya lang, we only have very limited time. That's why from time to time, if I'm being invited to speak to a group, to conduct training, uh, pinipili ko yung mga bagay na somewhat like quite interesting on the part of the teachers or students as well. Pero basically, this discussion is on the part of the teachers. Okay, there's a lot of things na pwede pang pag-aralan, pero medyo complicated on part. Merong konting programming, specifically the customization of the computation of grades using formula. That's also a good discussion na dapat ma-discuss, pero we'll be needing a lot of time for that one. Anyway, with the LMS that we are actually using, I know at some point in time we're going to beat this pandemic. We're going back to the face-to-face conduct of classes. But in the case of the IT department, CS IT department of the BU College of Science, we're not going to drop the use of LMS. This will already be going to be a part of our delivery of classes, face-to-face or online, because there's a lot of advantages in using this one. This basically utilizes technology, makes things easier for us. We go digital, and we can reach the students at the comfort of their homes, and we can extend the classroom not only beyond the typical classroom that we are using, the laboratory and the discussion area. We could extend our classrooms. Okay, so that's why with the utilization of this, we believe that this will going to improve our ways of delivering classes, and hopefully we could share the technology, the technique, the ways that we are actually using to other teachers, to other students, so they can also take full advantage of the system. Okay, having said that, thank you very much, and I could take some questions from anybody. Hopefully, alam ko yung sagot. Pero you can have your questions so that masagot natin dito for further elaborations. Thank you, Meds.
Thank you so much, Sir Aris. Is it okay now to ask questions, sir, or later na lang after our second speaker?
You can have it your way kung anong yung pwede. Okay lang naman siguro after.
Okay.
Let's have Sir Mike siguro muna.
Okay, so maybe we can have the questions later on. So to our dear participants, if you have questions in mind, please reserve them later for our open forum right after our second speaker. Sir Brogada, hello po. Are you ready for your topic?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Take it away
Okay.
po.
Okay. So again, good morning, participants. I was assigned to discuss cool things about LMS, and again, we've been using LMS since the delivery, or since the start of the pandemic for our classroom instructions, and most of the basic features of LMS were discussed by Doc Aris already, and I prepared a slide, a topic about integrating two platforms, which is the Moodle LMS and the G Suite for Education. So let me share my slide. Okay, so I'll be discussing integration of G Suite for Education and Moodle. Okay, Moodle is free. Also, Google is free, but they have Enterprise Edition, which is Google for Enterprise. Luckily, Bicol University have Google for Education, which can be used for delivery of instructions, and it is given to BU for free by Google. So the first topic or feature of Google that can be integrated with Moodle is the Gmail. As discussed by Doc Aris earlier, we can use our Gmail account in logging into our Moodle LMS. So let me share my screen. Okay. So this is the login system of Moodle. As you can see, we have here a button that allows us to log in our email account, BU Gmail account. And in my case, my BU Gmail account is madbbrugada@picol.u.edu.ph. Okay. You might ask, paano to? Paano to nangyari? Actually, cloud, so the cloud. What we did is we created a application programming interface that allows connecting Gmail apps to other platforms. And this is the interface of that application programming interface. The URL is console.cloud.google.com. So here, this is the dashboard. And here we created a project which is called O authorization plugin, in which we were able to set up our view email to link with Moodle. The primary identifier here is the client secret ID, which is this one, and it was created last August 8, 2020. So this is the method or the process on how to connect Gmail with Moodle. It's quite technical, pero I believe some of the participants are faculty members of other institution or that can set up this application. Okay, so let me go back to the Moodle. So here, one advantage of that login via Gmail is that the authentication process is centralized. So meaning you don't have to maintain a Gmail account, a Moodle account, a Facebook account, or a YouTube account. You can actually centralize the authentication process. And the credentials are stored in Google. So you don't have to worry about security because it's Google who is maintaining the account. And I believe Google for Education is intended for academic institution. So parang it's very unlikely for it to be unsecured. And it uses cryptography standard industry protocols, which is SSL, secured socket layer, and it uses single sign-on. So just imagine if you have Gmail account, Moodle account, Facebook account, YouTube account. So the maintenance of those accounts is tedious. So with this, logging in or using Gmail to log into Moodle is useful. Also, since the university is providing our students with free BU Gmail, you don't have to manually enroll your students to your course. You can actually, perform, or you can ask them to do, 'em 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 to do, ' self-enrollment. So let me share again my Moodle account. So here, in the case of uh, Bio 16, sorry, I'll be showing how the process on performing self-enrollment. So as faculty member or the one maintaining this platform, actually, if you are a course creator in Moodle, you can also activate this or you can also perform this. So here I can allow students to do self-enrollment. So I don't have to upload the list of or my class list to Moodle. They can perform self-enrollment and I can just set password. So like this. Okay. Um, Next is how do you integrate Google Drive and Moodle? This is done using the embed tag. It's an HTML tagging. Uh, Google Drive can serve as repository kasi one problem with maintaining a Moodle is the web space. You have to pay certain amount for you to have that cloud space. And since Google Drive is free, and actually if you have Google for Education subscription, the cloud space is unlimited. Initially, the cloud space is 15 gig, but if if you have files, actually you can save any file with or the storage is actually unlimited. And Google Drive is cross-platform, meaning it can be accessed using phone, laptop, or tablet or other mobile devices. And um, collaboration is easy. Then Drive is encrypted with SSL. So that's the advantage. So I'll be demonstrating how, as a faculty member, how I can share my Google Drive to Moodle for the students, so the students can access it. Mm, So here, yeah. So I created here a topic called things using LMS. So, and I will open my drive. Okay. So, for example, can you see my screen, my Google Drive screen?
Yes, Sir Mike.
Opo.
Okay. Okay. So, for example, this is the drive that I wanted to share in my Moodle LMS. And this drive contains the syllabus for this course. Okay. So, I will just create a page, turn everything on. You can add a resource and page. Course files. And here in the content, I need to activate the code view by clicking this one. show advanced buttons and HTML. Okay, and here I will be inputting the embed tag for the folder. Okay, so let's go back to the folder, and again, this is the course files folder, and clicking this one will activate the or will show the folder ID, and it is actually this one. This is the folder ID of your Google Drive. So I need to copy this one, and I will share in the chat box the embed tag for that folder. Wait lang. Chat box. If you can see in the chat box, there is an embed tag using iframe that will allow you to link your Google Drive to Moodle. Okay, you only have to change this ID. ID equals, then insert here the folder ID. Okay, so okay, let me share my screen again. Share screen. Ako na lang. Okay. So this is the folder ID. And this is the embed tag here. And I will just copy and paste this to my page in Moodle. And just erase this, paste, then see. Okay. Refuse to connect. Um, um, okay. Okay. Okay, there you go. Let me share my screen again. Okay. So here I have a link of my Google Drive. And when I click this, it shows the files in my Google Drive. So what's the advantage of this? Again, you don't have to save your files in Moodle. You can create a Google Drive and save your files in Google Drive, and students can access it. So let me add or upload a file in the Google Drive, and let's check if it will appear in my link. Okay. share screen. Mm. Course pass. So let us upload. Load. So let us upload this course guide. Okay, and let us check our link. Just refresh the page. Then there you go. The the course guide file is now available in your Moodle, and students can access it. Again, this is the link, and this is the content of the Google Drive. Okay, so the embed tag is available in the chat box, just in case you wanted to explore integrating Google Drive and Moodle. Okay, so okay, aside from Google Drive, you can also embed Google Drive videos, even Google Docs and Google Sheet. Oh, so again, one of the advantage of this Google Apps, it has online collaboration. If you wanted to your students to modify a certain file, for example, you have a Google Sheet that contains the project groupings, and you wanted your students to encode their name in the groupings, you can do that in Google Sheet, and it can be integrated to Moodle. So next, I'll be demonstrating how you will embed a Google Drive video in Moodle. Okay. So again, this is my Google Drive. I have here a video. Kasi one of the problem, if you have video lectures, the size of the video is quite big, especially if it's in high definition. And if you will store that in your Moodle server, it will just consume space na pwede naman dun sa Google Drive. Okay. So, okay. Okay, so this is the video tutorial or lesson. So I'll open this I open this video to a new window so I can get the embed tag or embed code, and I will get this one, embed item. And this is the embed tag that you can use in your Moodle. So you can copy this. And by the way, only Bicol University users have access to this video. This is one feature that is present in Google Suite for Education, that you can set privileges. Okay, so going back to our LMS, so here I can add another resource, say a page. Let's say this is lesson 10. That's lesson certificates. And I have to click this button to show the advanced buttons. Click the embed tag, then paste the embed item tag. Okay, so save and display. So in your LMS, last one. Yeah. So students can now view the lecture or video. Okay. Yan. Okay. Okay. You might ask, can they maximize or full screen the video. It is possible, but you need to include tags or you modify the HTML code. So here, we can allow full screen, like here, embed tag, allow full screen, and save. Okay, so they can now full screen the video. Okay, and they can also set the quality. If they have slow internet connection, they can set this 360 pixels. And they can also set the playback speed like this. Okay, so you might ask, what's the view of the students, or if they are accessing this features, these features, paano nila ito nakikita? Kasi I'm using right now my teacher account or course creator account. So I can switch my role, student. So this is now the view of the student. So here, this is the course files. So andito yung pangalan ko because I'm the author of the file. Here I can check my lesson. This is now the view of the students. Okay? So, ganyan. Next is, how do you embed Google Docs and Google Sheet? So there are instances, sabi ko nga kanina, na you are allowing your students to edit a file. It can be a Google Sheet or a Google Doc file. So, okay, let's do simulation. Here. So here again, I'll be using the course files folder, and I will create here a new Google Sheet. Let's say the Google Sheet is about the project grouping. Say this is the and you will require students to input their names in this Google Sheet file. So let us check the sharing or privileges. So here, Bicol University email can edit this file. Okay, so that. So to get the embed tag, you need to publish this file. Click file, click publish to web, and here click this embed link. Then here, restrict access to the following. Let's say to Bicol University emails. Then publish, yes, and you just copy and paste this embed tag. This is very similar with the previous simulation. Let's go back to our LMS. Let's create another activity or resource by turning the editing on. Then the resource, let's say a label. So click here to show the advanced buttons. Click the embed tag and paste here the code. Okay. So save. There you go. So you have now a view of the spreadsheet. Since the size of the spreadsheet is too small, so we can actually edit some settings. And it's width is equals to 100%. Yan. So it's now 100%. Okay. So what's the use of this? Again, every time the student modifies this file, it will be reflected here. Okay, although there are some delay in the Google Sync, they call it Google Sync or Google File Stream. Pero hindi yan aabot ng 2 hours na hindi siya mag-sync. Pero let's try. Kasi EBC group. Let's say Santos, Abelia, and Pi. Okay, we just need to close this. Close. Let's check. Let's refresh. Okay. Sa ngayon hindi pa nagising pero it's a Google issue actually. Pero hindi siya abot ng 3 hours para hindi mag-sync. Later, kung may time pa tayo, ipapakita ko na nag-sync siya. Pero it should sync or synchronize. Next is how do you add Google Docs? Di sa Google Sheet kasi. Isa pa Google Docs. So let's have another page. Let's say this is checklist. And we need to create another file, which is Google Docs. Let's say checklist. Insert your table. Yan. Let's say yan yung checklist. So again, you need to publish the file using embed link. Just copy and paste this to here. And say width is 100% and height is 600. Sorry. Yan. So I have now, let's check the course file drive kung updated. Okay, ito nag-sync na agad. Kasi it's more of file Mm, File allocation doon sa drive. Ito, medyo matagal mag-sync. Okay? So, that's some of the features of integrating Google Suite for Education and Moodle. Yan. Again, yung main purpose niyan, kasi maintaining a Moodle server is not easy. You need to take into consideration the space, the bandwidth, the number of users, and the domain. So if you have Google Drive and Google Workspace, you can actually make it as a repository and ililink mo na lang siya dun sa Moodle. Hindi rin kasi pwede na lahat Google Drive, Google Sheets kasi hindi ka makakapag-perform doon ng examinations. Wala doon gradebook, just like the discussion of Sir Aris. So we can actually make use of the two platforms para ma-maximize yung usage niya. Okay? So that ends my discussion with Google and Moodle integration.
Thank you so much, Sir Brugada.
Yes, Melch.
Maraming salamat po. To our participants, we will now be proceeding to the open forum. If you have questions regarding the presentations of our two speakers, you may now ask them. You could use the chat box if you are a little bit shy and asking through your microphones, and so that I can just read your questions. And of course, you can just ask directly. Anyone? May mga tanong po ba tayo?
Marriage, I think Dr. Badet Arimbay has a message in the chat box.
Saan siya? Workshop on this po. So I think Ma'am Badet is asking for a more in-depth workshop on this. Maybe she is considering to use these platforms in her classes. Tama ba ako, Ma'am Badet? Sa Aris, what's your take on this na magkaroon daw ng parang workshop?
I think that's a good idea kasi we cannot really get a lot from some webinars such as this. There should be a feedback na mechanism, like, or maybe dapat merong interaction talaga between the trainer and then yung mga trainee. For this kind of platform like Moodle, somewhat like technical, dapat talaga may turo in details and then magkaroon talaga ng output for them to fully grasp the concept on how to use the system or the platform, and then fully ma-integrate nila dun sa actual na trabaho nila. That's good. That's actually a good suggestion. Siguro we leave that to our extension coordinator para makapag facilitate ng activities such that maybe umpisa natin siguro sa department o sa college siguro with Sir Mike as a trainer. Ano, Sir Mike? Okay po kami sa in my part. It's okay with me. Siguro okay naman siguro kay Sir Mike to have this kind of training or workshop.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes po, syempre. It's always our pleasure to help our colleagues in the university.
So a face-to-face workshop, siguro, following the protocols, the safety protocols, would be a great idea in the near future, Sir Pahe. I'm sure we could pull this off.
Yeah.
Apo.
Looking forward to that.
Apo. Ma'am Badet, so they will work on this for the workshop na mas in-depth yung paano paggamit nitong mga online platforms natin. By the way, sirs, we have one question from Sir Jonathan. Do we have po a best platform recommended for those without internet connection?
Actually, the Moodle has a mobile version, offline mobile version. Yung magiging setup, you just need to download at least the files once in a week, and you can work on your assignments and other activities and upload it on a scheduled date or time. So pwedeng ganon. So you don't need to be online every day or from Monday to Friday. Pwede siyang i-download one time, let's say Monday, tapos i-upload mo yung preparations or submissions by Friday.
June
so that can
2020.
save everyday load or mobile data from Monday to Friday for students.
Okay, so pwede naman pala.
Maybe I have something to add. So pwede rin siguro if you mean by no internet connection yung sa labas na, there's a possibility also to set up a Moodle inside the campus only for the utilization of the students. Ibig sabihin, they can actually access the Moodle account, the Moodle platform while inside College of Science. But there's no way for them to access that one outside. So pwede rin ganun. Yung ginawa namin set up that just for the sake of conducting online exams or facilitating online submissions, but they can only use that one using our computers in the laboratory. That's also a possibility. So, pwede din yun.
Okay. So, Sir Jo, I hope makatulong yung sagot ni Sir.
Yeah, thanks. Iniisip ko lang yung yung mga estudyante ko from Masbate na until now ay wala talagang way to connect. So, pasulput-sulput lang sila sa Messenger, but in terms of siguro access to internet ay wala talaga, sabi nila.
So sa mga islands natin, Sir, medyo may talaga internet pa.
Yes, yes. Yun lang
So, Sir, from question naman po from Jella Rose Nebres, is it possible po for the department's present LMS to be used in the whole university as well?
Mike?
Actually, the what we did is to cater first the department because the use of the LMS requires paid hosting and web service from the cloud. So the capability of the current LMS is not to accommodate the whole university. So medyo mura lang kasi yung binayaran namin dun sa hosting and cloud space. So if the university wanted to use a university-wide LMS, then we need to allocate fund for that.
Ma'am? Okay po ba? So malaki talaga yung possibility na magawa to sa university. So kailangan lang talagang medyo may funds.
Melj, hello.
Ma'am Joy, sige po.
I'm listening to the admin council. Sorry. Okay. The College of Science would like to make a difference in the university so that we would like to, again, make some rearrangements in our budget to cater to the whole college ngayon because this time, it's the CSIT department only, and this is, of course, out of the volition of Dr. Mike Brugada. We are not paying anything to Dr. Mike Brugada for the cloud hosting. So this is out of his own,
So sa mga islands natin,
to the college.
Sir, medyo may talaga internet
So,
pa.
Yes.
I think the College of Science is Dr. Mike Brugada into that direction. We are not paying anything to Dr. Mike Brugada for this point in time. We have a paid Zoom account for 1 year, and these licensed Zoom accounts are distributed to each of the 5 departments of the college. And I hope we are going into this direction already, focusing on the question of Miss Professor Nebres. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Joy. Sabi ko na nga ba, always in support sa Ma'am Joy sa mga ganitong bagay. Opo. May question ko po ba? May siguro na isa pa kayo ng questions ninyo. I would like to acknowledge lang the presence of Ma'am Pritzy Ray, our GOD coordinator, and of course, Professor Jonathan Borromeo, our disaster management coordinator. Thank you so much, ma'am and sir, for being here with us this morning. Thank you so much po. Pinapa-acknowledge kayo ni sir. Kasi daw, super special ang presence niyo this morning. Opo. Thank you po. Questions po. Sa mga estudyante natin, baka may mga estudyante na gustong may tanong, may mga curious, may mga ano dyan, curious dyan. Sige na, huwag na kayo mahiya. Meron ba? With regards to the grading system, baka may tanong kayo or something. Clarification.
I think yung idea o yung interest ng mga estudyante is on how to beat the system. Kasi this is the one that they are actually using for our classes. Sana wag ganun.
Okay na yata. Again, wala na yan ang tanong sila. Thank you so much. So we look forward for the workshop in the future para mas maging mas in-depth yung pagtuturo on how to use these online platforms, Moodle and other similar platforms po. So again, thank you so much to Sir Michael Angelo Brugada and Sir Aris Ordonez for giving us this presentation. Maraming salamat po.
Welcome, Els.
Thank you so much.
Sir Melzor,
Well,
even though we are using a third-party recording software to record this event, may we suggest to take a picture of a screenshot of the participants? May I suggest and encourage everyone to turn on their video cam so that the moderator can take screen capture of the session.
So before we award the certificates to our speakers, Sir Pahe is requesting a photo opportunity with all the participants present in this webinar. Thank you so much po. So, ayan.
So, screen 1, mine. Screen 2. Screen 3.
Mas
Sir
malala.
Ivan, isama mo ako.
Ako, ma'am. Babalikan ko po, ma'am. Okay po, ma'am. Screen 4. Screen 5. Screen 6.
Screen 25 ang last niyan.
7. Okay. Screen 7.
Ay, ang daming participants. 65 so far.
Medyo marami yung participants.
Nakaka-overwhelm yung dami ng participants natin for this webinar. Tapos, sir, kanina I was looking at our Facebook Live. May mga 32 na nanonood sa ating Facebook Live. Wow. So, thank you so much. Maraming salamat. And may mga nakita ko from Dala Salipa na nag-tune in kanina. Oo, nabasa ako. So, nilike ko nga yung comment niya na watching from Dala Salipa. Thank you so much po. So at this point, friends, I will now be reading to you the certificate of commendation to our two speakers. The citation reads, Bicol University College of Science, Legazpi City. Certificate of commendation is awarded to Dr. Aris J. Ordonez for sharing his time and expertise as speaker, which contributed to the success of the BUCS Reach to Teach webinar series on the topic Cool Things Using Learning Management System, held on February 16, 2021 via BUEMD Facebook Live, given this 16th day of February 2021 at Bicol University College of Science, Legazpi City. Signed, Professor Jocelyn E. Serrano, Dean, BUCS, Professor Rowena F. Zoilov, Director, BUEMD, and Dr. Arnulfo M. Mascareñas, President, Bicol University. Sir Aris, maraming salamat.
Welcome. It's a pleasure.
The same certificate is awarded to Dr. Michael Angelo Di Brugada. Sir, maraming salamat po. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Okay. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, Sir Pahe?
Yes po.
At this point, we will now be having the acknowledgement of the noteworthy participants. Okay na yata, nabagay ko na kanina sila Sir Jonathan, si Ma'am Pritzy, Ma'am Joy, of course, and our speakers and the rest of our participants.
Yes po.
Miss Mel Bulawan, the technical support from the BUEMD.
Oh yes, si Sir Bulawan, thank you so much for hosting. Being the moderator and hosting of the event from the BUMD.
Sir, maraming salamat po. Thank you so much. Again, guys, to wrap this up, maraming salamat to all the participants. Thank you so much for participating to this webinar. We hope to see you in the next series of Reach to Teach, courtesy of the Bicol University College of Science Extension Office. Thank you po.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, and thank you.